federally now.
Pardon?
And federally now compared to state level, what's kind of your opinions of things that have been happening even in this year with Trump? And
I think he's terribly dangerous. He, among other things, is immoral. He's a liar. He's basically incompetent. He doesn't know how to run the government. I've known other politicians that were like that.
mm-hmm.
I've never known one to have any big success. I've known some who skated by. Roger Brannigan was pretty much the same way. He was a Democratic governor here. He was smarter than Trump, but he wasn't a good governor.
Do you think Trump will be in office for the next 3.5 years?
No. He's stumbling every day now. Attacking Iran was stumbled. Today, something happened today, I forgot what it was right now. The Jeffrey Epstein, you familiar with that? Jeffrey Epstein has been a subject of MAGA supporters for years now. And the constant theme has been that there's a bunch of people that went with him on his private airplane to his private island where they sexually abused little girls. Pretty serious accusation, to say the least. And he, of course, he's dead now, but story then has become, well, let's see his records. And MAGA people have been demanding it. Well, here, what do you know? Trump is president and has control of those FBI records, and they don't want to see him at all.
You think they're going to get destroyed? Do you think they will just
I'd be amazed
evaporate into
if
the
they
ether?
still existed
Right.
now. But who knows? Sometimes people are more afraid of getting rid of things than keep them. But I think that's right. Suddenly, what records?
So do you think...
I watched that last night. I was dumbfounded. It's...
How do you think Epstein died?
I don't know, and I don't care. Any more than I would about any other personality. And I think that Trump administration is a criminal operation. I think he takes bribes. I can explicitly describe one that I know he, I believe, anyway, took, or not took. He tried to take, but didn't. And that, I think the original deal with Putin was a bribe. He was going to lift the sanctions on Russia in return for a very large bribe.
When? When did that occur?
It occurred, well, Well, over a period of time, I wrote a little piece on that, you know.
90s, 2000s, 2010s?
No, it was in right after the 2020 election, right before and after. Started in the spring of 2020 and continued, fell apart in the spring of 21.
What do you think he was guaranteed?
12 billion.
So you think that's sitting somewhere and he's got it?
No. I think I said it fell apart. I believe was at one time probably in the Cayman Islands, a place where by chance I've never been to the Cayman Islands, but I've had clients that have had experience with the Cayman Islands, and it's a place where crooks store their money.
I went there for a little while after college to do some scuba diving stuff, and do you know that there are, at that time, 98, I think the statistic was 45 out of the top banks on the planet, 45 out of 50 of the top banks on the planet were there.
Yeah.
So they could just move it. Just move.
Well, as I said, I've had clients who had experience with them.
So how do you foresee Trump not being in office for the next 3 years? What could happen to make that happen?
He could die. He's almost 80 years old.
Right, but he's got all the money to be able to keep himself alive. So what's the other way?
Well, sometimes the money won't do that. And but I've been watching him fairly closely lately. I think he's showing fatigue, frankly. I don't know if that's wishful thinking on my part or not. I think that he's, but I don't think anybody can get angry as often as he does and live very long.
Heart attack?
Well, he's showing some signs of mental decline.
What do you think?
Not that I don't think he's showing as much as some people think he is, but I think he's slipping, and I've got experience with that.
What about assassination? Do you think that's on the possible radar with Iran or other outside parties? Or do you think that's not even possible to happen?
No, I think it's possible, but I don't think it's likely.
Okay. So if he does pass or whatever happens, obviously JD's in the position.
Mm-hmm.
But how do you think that would play out if Trump all of a sudden was... And do you think he could possibly really make a third term happen? Can he get things passed so he can run for a third term, or do you think he won't even be allowed to run?
You can be certain that you no longer have any rights if he is allowed to run for a third term, because it's prohibited by the Constitution.
So if he breaks that, he's broke. Then anything can break in the Constitution.
Yeah. third term is forbidden.
So you're holding in your hands a copy of the Constitution of the United States of America. So small, but so powerful.
Well, we'll see how powerful it is. The Constitution, actually, the Constitution itself is only these pages. After that are the amendments. And I think we're talking about like Amendment 22.
Third term? Third term? Or not able to do a third term?
No person shall be elected to the office of president more than twice. Is that hard to understand?
So why does he think he can get it passed, and why is he projecting it on the media that...
He thinks he can get anything. He has entered that realm. He thinks he can do anything.
So he's gone a little...
And partly it's because the Supreme Court has told him that he can. They have given him, you know, I don't think most people understand the fact that he is immune. If he commits a crime, I don't care if he shoots you right between the eyes, if he does it as a part of what he thinks is his duties for the day and can prove that it was important for that, he's immune. That was the case decided a year ago, or about a year ago.
How does that get reversed?
Pardon? That gets reversed when the people
Elect different people into the Supreme Court?
We don't. Supreme Court's not elected. Supreme
They're
Court
appointed.
Are appointed.
Right. So they would have to change.
Yes. Well, right now, if it was done properly, the Supreme Court would have to change its mind, or we would have to change the Supreme Court.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to kind of touch on about present day politics, or even within the book, the Constitution?
We've all already lost some of the protections. We're in danger of losing them all. Because he thinks he's king. And I'm not being hyperbolic. He believes he has total power. And as long as nobody stops him, he does. There will be people trying to stop him.
So 10 years from now, where do you see the United States government?
It depends on what we do with him. We're definitely not the constitutional republic that we were 5 years ago. Anybody that thinks we are is kidding themselves. Which there's a lot of in this world, and in politics even more so. A lot of people kid themselves.
You've got some grandkids and you got some great grandkids, right?
Not great.
Not good. Okay. Are you worried about
They're
them?
not bad, but they're not great.
Are you worried about them?
No.
I mean, not them personally, but the era and what could
Well,
be.
sort of, yeah, but I don't worry too much about things I can't do anything about.
Right.
And what I can do,
That's for the next generation, right, B?
and here,
You said that's for the next generation.
yeah, I write stuff. I write on Twitter
You do? Like,
every day.
really?
Yeah,
What's your handle?
that's JWB110. I think
JWB1.
B110
Why one- why-
at
why 110?
AOL.com.
Well, that's your email, but is that also your thing on Twitter?
Yeah.
So why the 110? What's the 110 mean? Just good number?
No. And little vanity. I give it 110%.
Okay, that's. I asked your daughter what the 110 was, Lynn, and she didn't know. So 110%. That's beautiful.
Yeah.